Welcome to the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul. I am Tammi Mac. Hey, everybody. So, the National Rifle Association, better known as the NRA, we know what we're talking about here, huh? Has fought any attempt by the government to enact gun control laws, except when it comes to Black gun owners. Well, in 1967, 30 members of the Black Panther Party protested at the California State House in Sacramento. That protest frightened the hell out of California, and particularly Governor Ronald Reagan and other politicians so much that they passed the Mulford Act, a state bill banning the open carry of loaded firearms, a legislation that was supported by the NRA. It is inconceivable to imagine the NRA supporting such legislation now, despite armed white men storming government buildings in Oregon and Michigan in recent years. Well, dealing with that double standard, the one that gives white people unlimited gun rights, but limits the rights of Black people to bear arms, is the business of being Black in America tonight on the Tammi Mac Late Show. And what better way to get started than to go back to that moment in time in 1967 to discuss why the Black Panther Party thought it necessary to stay strapped. Joining the conversation now is Emmanuel Choice, commander of the Black Gun Owners Association, and Philip Smith, the founder and president of the National African American Gun Association, and continuing to go on this journey with us, one of the original members of the Black Panther Party, Mukasa Ricks. Thank you all for being here. Mukasa, is still so much I want to say to you, but I'm going to move forward here because I know I do want to ask, why should Black people care about owning guns? And we'll start with you, Emmanuel.
Because it's our constitutional right. The Second Amendment affords us an opportunity to bear arms and to defend ourselves and our families. And so it's as simple as that. It's not a complicated metric at all. It's very simple that in this country, you have a right to defend yourself, and you should value yourself, your family, your community enough to exercise that right.
Philip?
It's a difference maker. The lack of having guns in our community since we've been to this country is the reason why we've had the issues that we've had. And we have to look at those communities that are stable, that are strong, that are economically vibrant. They all have the base, they have guns. We have to incorporate that mindset. And I think as a Black people, we're starting to do that. So not having guns is the issue.
Why is it then, when it comes to Black people and gun ownership, we are always pinned as the neighborhoods with the most gun violence, with the most illegal guns? Why do we get the bad name when it comes to gun ownership?
I think a lot of it is propaganda. If you look at a lot of the areas, South Central LA, South Central or South side of Chicago, guns are an issue, but the guns aren't the problem. Lack of jobs, lack of opportunity, poor schools, confrontational relationships with the police at best, pipeline to prison for an educational system. If you put people in a place where they don't have any avenue to take care of themselves and their family, they're going to do what they have to do. So that's the issue. Are guns part of the problem? Absolutely. But it's not the reason why people are shooting each other. They're hungry and they have to survive. And you're going to do what you have to do to take care of yourself and your family.
Emmanuel?
Now, I want to make sure that I qualify one thing, because with the Black Gun Owners Association, we do strongly advocate on behalf of our membership body and our constituency, really being able to break down some of these pseudo barriers, right, to legal, lawful gun ownership. And we do promote lawful gun ownership. Mm-hmm. And so many people who do have felonies or who do have a record, they automatically assume that they can't register for a gun. And that's not true. You can have these things expunged. It's a process. We help to nurture and help folks navigate through that process within our organization. So we're about, first and foremost, dispelling all the myths related to being able to properly, lawfully register a gun and to be able to use it. And so whatever legal means that exist, that's kind of what our organization is for. If you want to get into something else, there's other avenues for you to travel. But if you're considering lawful ownership and being able to do things in a legal manner with everything properly registered, we can help guide you through that process. And beyond that, I'm sorry, please.
No, go ahead.
Tammi.
And beyond that?
Beyond that, what we have is a growing membership body that has built a network, right? Where we go to the range together, we talk about issues together, we share information together. And so what we're building not only is, a bunch of gun owners, a bunch of gun toting folk, but people who have come to care about one another, to care about issues that are important to our community, and who will defend one another when the time comes. And trust me, if we ever get into a situation, you want to know who those people are who can help defend you.
You do. You do want to know who packing when that time comes.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to know who to get behind.
That's right. So one of
the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul, and we are having a very spirited conversation about gun ownership in the Black community. Gun ownership in the Black. Do enough Black people own guns, Emmanuel?
There's a rising tide of Black folks that are coming to the gun shops and making purchases and inquiring. Our membership has grown exponentially. And it's, so, clearly there's an awakening. And so what, with respects to everything that Baba Mukasa is saying, I do think that there's a fundamental piece of this that is important, and that we don't want to frighten folks from getting involved, thinking that just by having a gun, you are involved in a revolution or any type of, activity other than the simple act of owning a gun and learning
protecting yourself when necessary.
Well, learning how to properly use it, how to have it, own it safely, use it safely, and to protect yourself and your family, your community. And then it starts to get a little broader, but that's a little more outside of my scope, right? We're doing the fundamental blocking and tackling. We're introducing people to the concept. Some people have a firearm phobia. And so we're walking them through that process. We're showing them that this is nothing to be afraid of. You should embrace it, welcome them. And there is a network of people who are gun enthusiasts, who welcome you, who will take time with you to nurture you through the process. And there's a camaraderie that exists there that you really can't find in too many places, for me, outside of the sports world. And so we really promote that first and foremost. There's very little political conversation that goes on within our organization body. That's just not what we're set up to do. Right. But we're prepared to get down for whatever's happening, though. You could rest assured. My job is to make sure that folks come trained, knowledgeable, and ready to get down for whatever the situation calls for.